Joined by Louay Safi, a senior member of the Syrian National Coalition. Welcome in Doha. Mr. Hitto hasn't led a government institution, let alone in the midst of a civil war. He hasn't any military experience, even though he is nominally commander-in-chief, I suppose. So why was he elected?
Well, I think he is the best man for the job given the available candidates. Now, let me tell you, I mean, this notion that the Muslim Brotherhood are dominant in the coalition is not correct. They are an important component, but I can tell you they don't, compose more than 10% of the current coalition. So I think it was not their decision. There was a very spirited debate, and really, what ultimately boiled down to is that the world is not serious about supporting Syria. We heard a lot of talk, and we would like to depend on the Syrian people inside. Okay. There is a need for a prime minister. There is a need for administration because the country is becoming fragmented.
None of you have answered this question. You've all gone off at tangents, which I'm sure, and other issues. I just wanted to know what made him the right candidate to be interim prime minister.
Well, let me say a few things about him very briefly.
Many other issues.
Now, he is a community person. He has a long experience being a very active member of the Arab American, Muslim American community in the United States. He has set a fund after 9/11 to defend some of those cases that were brought by the U.S. government to target American citizens from Arab origin, and he was very successful in setting that fund. Now, when the revolution started, he left his job, moved to Turkey, and started helping first by setting another fund, and then by becoming the director of the aid unit within the coalition.
Okay,
and he went inside the country.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to another question. Can he balance the competing demands for power, for authority and position within his own government? Because that too is going to be crucial.
Now, the man is given 3 weeks to form a government, to find ministers, and to present them to the coalition. The coalition will continue to be the oversees his work, and the coalition can put a vote of no confidence if he's not able to deliver.
Well, you don't want no confidence at this stage. The last thing in the world you want is a squabbling opposition.
What I'm saying is that he reports to the coalition, and so he has a mandate to run the liberated area and provide services because the state has disappeared there, and we started to see small regions and new forces popping up. We would like to make sure that the whole place is united, and I think I mean, Fawaz said it very well. He's a good manager, and he has proved himself in the last 4 months in trying to manage a very tough situation, inside Syria.
Okay, Fawaz, he a speech after his election. He immediately urged Syrian soldiers to defect, and he also promised that Syria's refugees could return to the rebel-held areas of the north and the east of the country. But won't he find that promise hard to fulfill, especially if those areas are under continual bombardment or assault?
Allow me, before I address this question, to visit the point about his speech that he will not negotiate with Assad, because I think this has been brought up several times. Now, what he has stressed is the very position of the coalition, that there is going to be no dialogue with Assad and his security people, but we are for negotiations that would lead into a transition into democracy. Now, the Syrians are not going to accept anything less than democracy. The Assad is part of the problem. He is a war criminal and cannot be negotiated with. We tried initially, before he raised the destruction and the death in Syria to the figure that we all know today.
Your take, the most important issue he has to confront or he has to achieve closure with in his first few months in the job?
Well, I think the most important thing for him now is to set security in the liberated areas by bringing some sense of order and unifying some of those factions fighting inside, meaning the regime, fighting the regime, and also providing services. You know, there is a huge population in the north that needs services and need government, and I think that would be his mandate. And
especially
I'm sure
as summer comes and the heat
and let me add this: I think
briefly,
many refugees are willing to come back if there are services, even though there are some bombardments.
And that again would add credibility to him and his office. I understand. Thank you.